Well, hi there, folks. Welcome back to Mossy Roots Farm. So today, we're doing actual winter prep. And you may say, now wait a minute, it's January 12th. Well, not when you guys are seeing this, but it's January 12th. What do you mean you're doing actual winter prep right now? Well, see, Ohio has some interesting seasons. So you have summer, you have fall, summer, you have fall in December, sometimes January. And then, if you're lucky, you'll get winter for exactly 1 week in January, February sometime. So, that 1 week is what we're preparing for. It's not actually a week this year, it'll be more like 9 days, but we're gonna get down to about 20 for the highs for 10 days here. I might need 2 hands to remove this garden hose coupler. But what I gotta do is move this trough up the hill. Since we're going to be frozen, I want to graze the hayfield, which is going to be interesting with water being 20 degrees. So we'll figure that part out when we get there. And if we have to, we'll just bring the cows back down here and they'll be fine with the spring. But we need to do that while the garden hose is strung out. I want to fill the baby girls up in the barn, make sure they're good to go. And then just generally go from there. Like we got a few things to accomplish here with that, so that's what we're gonna try and do today, and we'll see what happens. So let's get some of this stuff done here. And this, folks, is why I say you can't trust the weather, man. That's a bluegrass song, or a verse from it. So it says it's 35 degrees out right now, and the lows did not get below freezing, but yet my garden hose, it's frozen inside. I don't know if you guys can see that in there. It's frozen and the water's on, so it's frozen good. So don't actually know if I'm getting baby girls filled up today with water. I've got to make some food for critters, and while I do that, I will I guess I'll just figure out if baby girls are gonna have a tank of water brought down from the house. I did empty our big water tank, which is good because that means if I need to use it this winter, I'm good to go, or these really cold spells, I mean, and I'll just make sure it's drained out. There will always be a little bit of water in it, but if you leave it drained, generally you're okay. It's when you have it full of water to run into issues. And see, our garden hose is dripping, so I might be okay. Because technically the water from the house should be warm enough to de-thaw everything. But that's why I say you can't trust the weatherman. So, but we'll see what we get done today. I need to make a bunch of food, like I said. And the reason for that is when we get these cold spells, which we're going to get down to, oh, what'd they say, like 20s were the high for the next 9-10 days. All these animals are going to eat a bunch more food. See, here's what I mean. This water, not even close to being frozen, but this garden hose is. Explain that one to me. But anyways, these cows, these pigs, these chickens, they all eat a bunch more food in this cold weather. I think, like, I forget if it was pigs or chickens or something that I saw. It's like they need a whole extra pound per like 10 degrees. So right now we've been averaging 35, 40. So we're gonna get down to 20. So that means like an extra 2 pounds. And I don't know if that's accurate. I may be making that up or have heard that wrong. But I wanna make a bunch of extra food so that we can feed our critters this winter, or this really cold snap, and be fine. Ooh, throw the garden hose through the big weeds. This is a blackberry patch that I have been keeping, not necessarily intentionally, somewhat intentionally. I like blackberries every now and again, so I've just been leaving it. Should brush hog it at some point, but we'll get there. So all right, well, I'm gonna let the water run, see if I get water out of it. I'm gonna go make up some animal food, and I'll see you guys back here. So the last thing I want to do here for winter prep, hard winter prep, is I want to make sure my garden hose is cleared out. So what I did is I left this running, shut the water off, and then I disconnected it. I just touched it to my lip, and I can still feel a siphon. And what that tells me is that we're still draining water out naturally. This is higher than down at the barn down there, so we're letting it drain out naturally. Now I do have some low spots, so what we're gonna do is this adapts on to my air compressor. I've got a hose ran from the garage. We're gonna hook it up to the air compressor. Now this is probably gonna be difficult with the two hands here. Ugh. So now that we've got her hooked up, we're going to just let her go. The air compressor will run for a bit, and what this is doing is it's pressurizing all the way down to the barn because it's getting all the water out and it's pushing air through it. This isn't going to cure a hard freeze. This isn't going to stop a hard freeze, but it's going to help. I've had some valves and stuff break in the past and some other things of that nature, so this is definitely going to help. Because the other thing we're going to do is we want to get the cows up here to this hay field and graze it, but our garden hose down here only reaches to the second post and beyond. So we're going to run the garden hose, if we can, over to the hay field over there and see about getting them grazing in that. And we'll use this method with the garden hose. If I leave this air compressor hose up here and we just string it out every time, blow it out real good, we should technically be okay. I'm not going to guarantee anything, not going to promise anything, but we should technically be okay. So we'll try that this winter. We'll get the cows grazing. Absolute worst case scenario, it's so hard and frozen that we can't actually graze. Well, and because we have no water, I should say. Well, that's an easy problem to solve. Then we just go back to bale grazing like we're currently doing. And they have access to the spring, which is flowing right now. So, but anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.